my book and wax friends. I'm Amber. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning as well. Today is my December wrap up. So these are the books that I read during December and the wax bars that I melted corresponding to the books. So there's always timestamps, and I always do the home fragrance at the end so you can watch what you would like. So let's jump into it. First off, let's look at my official TBR for the month of December. As you see, there are 6 books. I picked 6 books each month now. And of the 6, I did 5. So yay me. So it was a good reading month in regards to finishing my TBR, or almost finishing it for sure. The what was it called? The Merry Matchmaker. I started reading it, but I just couldn't get into it, so I DNF'd that one. Soft DNF possibly. I might read it again, try it next year type of thing, but for now, yeah, I didn't finish. So okay, so let's move on to the books that I did read. The first one I have to share, I read on audio, and it's called Sleigh Bells Ring, and this is by Rayanne Thane. And for me, this was a 3.5 star. It is about a girl named Annalise, and she works for this rich family on this ranch. And this ranch used to be part of her family's heritage, and then it was bought when they couldn't afford it anymore, but her father continued to be like the rancher on this property. And after he passed, they asked her to come back and kind of be the manager for the property. And so she's there, and all the family comes back into town to celebrate the life of their patriarch who had passed away. And so they want to honor him by coming to this place that he loved for so many years, and honoring him one last time before they sell the property. So Annalise runs into the son of the grandfather that passed away. He comes, and they knew each other when they were younger. And so it stems from there. And it was a really cute, sweet holiday romance. I did really enjoy it. As I said, 3.5 stars. I enjoyed the characters. The main male character's name was, Tate. And then there were some side characters, some siblings and stuff that had a lot of interesting development too. I felt the characters were pretty well fleshed out, and there were a couple of little kids that were Annalise's niece and nephew that were adorable, that she was taking care of. So I really enjoyed it. It definitely was a good way to start my holiday reading, because there was a lot of holiday Christmassy things that they did. And I'm pretty sure it was in Colorado. It had that snowy Christmas vibe, and it was just a fun, cute read. So content, there were a couple mild swear words, but other than that, it was everything, no content other than that. So it was a cute read, 3.5 stars. The next one I read, and this was on my TBR, was Holly by Adeline Grace, and this was for the prompt book that feels like a fairy tale. So this is Adeline Grace's holiday novella following her Belladonna series. So you have to read the Belladonna series before you can pick this up, or you're going to be spoiled. But it gave me all those wonderful, magical holiday feels, and the artwork in it was just stunning. The artwork is done by Rosie Thorns, and it's just so fun. I loved being back with these characters and seeing what what's going on in their lives. That's something that I enjoy, if I get super attached to characters in series. I love coming back and seeing what things are going on with them. So I did really enjoy this. There was a mystery to it as well, and some holiday ghost type of situation. And yes, the whole series is fun, and I thought this was a great addition. I will be getting this in my own book to add to my Christmas book collection in the UK cover. So not this cover, which I do like this cover, but I prefer the UK with the cute little fox and bunny on it. I'll hopefully remember and put a picture here. So anyway, I am planning on getting a copy of it so I can add it to my collection. I'm sorry. I don't know if I've said what I gave this. This was a 4.5 stars. So there was, my goodness. Anyway, I enjoyed this. The story novellas are harder for me to rate 5 stars, really, just because they're shorter, although this is kind of a longer novella. Plus there was one like gratuitous scene that I felt was unnecessary. There was no reason to have it besides it being gratuitous. It wasn't overly descriptive or anything. It was more alluded to, but it was enough to where you're like, okay, this is supposed to be YA. Why are we having this in this book? So anyway, that's Holly. Moving on. I'll probably cut out the last part and start over with this. Okay. So the next book I read was A Holiday by Gaslight by Mimi Matthews. And it was for the prompt, historical novel set during the holidays. And this was really cute. The cover is what drew me to it in the first place. I did buy this because of the cover, and I had a really good time with it. I rated it 4 stars, and it was about a girl named Sophie and a guy named Ned. And Sophie is being courted by Ned, or Edward is his full name, and she doesn't think it's going to work out. But she ends up, her family's in a financial pickle, kind of, and so she needs to marry someone with a lot of money. And even though Edward is, at the time, kind of considered below her in regards to society because she comes from an aristocratic background, and he obtained his wealth by work and becoming a businessman of his own, and so he's kind of considered beneath her. Her family needs money, and so they were okay with them courting, and so that's why they were courting to begin with. And she decides that it's not working out. He's very taciturn. He doesn't know how to speak very much, and so it was hard for her to get to know him. She decides, I'll give him one more chance, and invites him after she had kind of broken off their understanding. She comes back to him and says, hey, I'm willing to give you one more chance. Why don't you come to our house for the holidays and we can really get to know each other? And so that's where it begins, pretty much. I really enjoyed all the characters. I liked the vibe. I know this was kind of inspired by the book North and South, which I do not remember who wrote that book. I haven't ever read the book. Someday, possibly I will, but I have seen the was it a miniseries? I can't remember for sure. But it was good. I did enjoy it. So I was familiar with that storyline, and I could see the parallels with this one. And I enjoyed it. I thought all the characters were great. There wasn't as much in regards to like the Christmassy type stuff. They did do some Christmassy type stuff, but if I'm comparing it to some of the other ones that I read, not as much. But I did think it was a fun cute holiday novella. And if I didn't say this at the beginning, I rated it 4 stars. So that is A Holiday by Gaslight. Next up was a book called Bright Lights, Big Christmas. This is by Mary Kay Andrews, and it was for the prompt, has lights on the cover. And this one, not only does it have lights, it's in the title, so I thought it would be the perfect pick for the prompt. And the cover really is so cute. I ended up giving this one 2 stars. So it was just okay for me. I mainly read this through audiobook, and I don't know if it was because of that. I just didn't like it as much, but the narration kind of got to me. But it's about a girl who ends up having to help her family, or her father specifically. But when her and her mother were together, they own this Christmas tree farm. Her father still owns it, but he's kind of sick, and she has lost her job, so she moved back to their hometown, and her mother asks her to help her brother, who now kind of runs the Christmas tree farm, to help out and take the Christmas trees to New York City to sell them there on a big lot that they do every year. And so that's kind of the premise of the story. She meets a lot of people in the neighborhood where they're selling. There's kind of a competition between her and these other kind of sketchy Christmas tree sellers that moved in across the street in their neighborhood. And then there's a mystery with one of the extra side characters. And there is a love interest in here. I just didn't feel the love interest. I didn't feel the connection between the two of them at all, really. And the character development really wasn't there for me as well. So it was just okay. And then there was a lot of, as far as content goes, there was fade to black scene. So there wasn't any on page sex scenes or anything. So that really wasn't an issue for me, but there was quite a bit of profanity, including using the Savior's name in a profane way. So I wasn't a fan of that at all. And so that really brought down the rating. I might have liked it a little bit more, if not for that, because when there's stuff like that, it takes me out of the story, because I don't like it. So, but overall, the characters weren't the best developed. Even though it was about a Christmas tree farm, it didn't feel super Christmassy to me. I don't know. So yeah, that's Bright Lights, Big Christmas. But I still do really like the cover. It's so cute. Okay, after that is a book I had to return to the library, but it was for the prompt, red cover, and that was Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh. And this one I ended up giving 4 stars to. I did enjoy it quite a bit. It is about a girl named Molly and a guy named Andrew, and they are both from Ireland and living in the Chicago area. And every year they both take the same flight back to Ireland for the holidays. And they've been doing it for the past 10 years, and they end up becoming super close friends because of that. And so this current year that they're in, their flight gets canceled. Now, Molly doesn't really care all that much. Her and her family aren't big into Christmas, but Andrew really is into Christmas, and he's kind of devastated about it. And so Molly comes up with the idea, hey, let's get us there to Ireland. We'll see what we can do, take different flights and trains or whatever else. So planes, trains, and automobiles to get you there, get you home for Christmas. And so that's the premise of it. And there is a dual timeline, whereas it shows the past years leading up to the 10th year of them going, and then the current 10th year timeline. I really enjoyed both Molly and Andrew's characters. I thought they had a good dynamic together. You could tell that they were super close in regards to their friendship, but that maybe there could be more besides that, and that something that happens during close to the beginning of the book kind of ignites the idea for Molly that, hey, maybe I have more feelings for Andrew than just friendship type of thing. And it was just really cute. I really did enjoy it. I probably would have rated it higher if we're talking about content. There is, for the most part, it was pretty mild profanity throughout it, but then quite a bit of profanity in regards to using Jesus Christ's name in a profane way. And that really, yeah, it didn't sit well with me. And so unfortunately, it lowered the rating. And then there is one semi-open door scene from what I'm remembering, but it was if it was open door, it was very mild. It might have been Fade to Black. I can't remember for sure. It was very mild. That's all I know. But it was mainly the profanity, just as far as content goes. But I really enjoyed all the characters in it, especially the main two characters. So if you're looking for a feel-good romance and profanity doesn't bother you, for sure give this one a try. So that is Holiday Romance. The next one I also had to return to the library, and that is Letters from Father Christmas by J.R.R. Tolkien. And this I rated 5 stars. It was 5-star for me. I really loved it. And I thought it would be. It was on my 5-star predictions. J.R.R. Tolkien is one of my all-time favorite authors. And Lord of the Rings, one of my favorite all-time series. So I wasn't surprised, especially I started it last year, but just didn't finish it in time before I had to return it then to the library. But I was able to get it through it. So this is letters, actual letters that Tolkien wrote to his children as Santa Claus. So they would write him letters, Santa letters, and he would write back. And he had this whole lore behind Father Christmas, with a polar bear that helped him out. And it was so darling. It was so cute and whimsical. I loved it. And I loved that Tolkien did that for his children. I thought it was just the most precious thing. And I loved the whimsical illustrations. He would put like illustrations in with his letters too. And so you got to see the illustrations in the books. And it was just darling. I loved it. So for sure, 5 stars for Letters from Father Christmas. Then after that, I read another book on audio called A Timeless Christmas. This is by Alexis Stanton. Stanton? Yeah, Stanton. And it is about a girl named Megan who is like a reenactor in this house that has become a museum for this famous like inventor who ended up disappearing back when, like in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s. He ends up disappearing and no one knows what happened to him. And she plays one of the I think of the housekeeper, if I'm remembering right, in his home. And then there's other actors one that played like him, and then other servants and whatnot. And she's like an expert in all things having to do with American history, and specifically, of course, in him and everything surrounding all that. One day, this guy shows up, and he is actually ends up being Charles, who is the guy that the house that the owner and inventor, somehow he ends up being whisked to the future. And so there's the whole, like, how am I going to get back home? And things come to light of what happened after he disappeared from the past that he's not happy about. And it's about Charles trying to find his way back, and then also trying to adjust to life in the 21st century. And yeah, it was really cute. It's a Hallmarky style Christmas book. So it's very sweet and very, some would say cheesy. I enjoy the Hallmark Christmas movies, and they can be a little cheesy, but this one I thought was really fun with the whole magical realism element with the time travel and stuff, and not a lot of depth to the characters, but I felt like the storyline was really fun. And yeah, it was cute. I think I said the rating, but if I didn't, I rated it 3 stars. I did enjoy it. So that was A Timeless Christmas. And I guess they have made a Hallmark movie about it. So I am interested in watching the movie. And probably not this year, but now that I've read the book, seeing what the movie is all about. Okay, after that, I read a book called Chasing Cheer by Heather Schneider. And this was for the prompt, a magical element on the cover. And so this was really cute. This was a different take in regards to the whole Santa Claus myth story. It's about a girl named, let me see, Holly Claus. So she is the daughter of Santa and Mrs. Claus. Now she is in charge of the North Pole and what the Clauses do for the world. Now that her father and mother have moved on with their life, so they've gone to the next realm or whatever. They died. They passed on pretty much. But as magical beings, it's a little different. And so Holly's been in charge of everything for however many years it's been now. Well, she realizes that she feels like she's not as powerful as her father was. And they, instead of the myth of giving children presents for good boys and girls on Christmas, what they do as far as being magical people is give dreams to everybody. So dreams in that, dreams to pursue, not just like dreams like sleeping. That's how they're developed, but as dreams as in, this is something that I want to do in my life, inspiration type of dreams. And so that's what they deliver every Christmas is dreams. And so to power the North Pole, she's got to get cheer. She's got to, I'm trying to think of, she's trying to get that energy from good feelings, from cheer, from happiness. And she ends up coming across this town in Oregon. I think it's in Oregon. This town that's like giving her off the charts cheer. Usually it takes her a lot where she's got to chase the cheer, hence the name, Chasing Cheer. And bad feelings can interfere with the cheer and cause it to deplenish, that sort of thing. So she finds this town in Oregon that has an overabundance of cheer, and she's like, what's going on? Why is it like this? So that's where it starts. There is a romance that develops, and yeah, it was really cute. I enjoyed it. I gave it, I don't think I said, my rating was 4 stars. I thought it was really cute, and content-wise, it was clean. So that is Chasing Cheer. Next up, was Christmas with a Crank by Courtney Walsh. And this was for, oh no, this didn't have a prompt, I don't think. Yeah, no, this one didn't have a prompt. So this was not official TBR, it was just a mood read. And this is about a girl named Olive who comes to help. She's a very creative person. She lives in the small town, and she ends up being asked by family friends who have this Christmas tree farm that they're getting ready to sell to make the best Christmas ever for the Christmas tree farm and everyone in the community before they do sell it. And she grew up in this town and grew up going to the Christmas tree farm and grew up really close to the family who owns the farm, and specifically the man whose name is Liam, right? Yeah, Liam. He and she were super close when they were kids. They were best friends. Before the family moved out to the farm, they were neighbors. And so they were always hanging out together. And before the move, they said goodbye to each other. They were around 12 years old and were hanging out in the tree house that they had. And they had their first kiss. They ended up experiencing their first kiss with each other. And they promised to stay in touch with each other. That ended up not happening. And so Liam moved away after everybody moved to the Christmas tree farm. The two kids grew apart. They didn't really see each other anymore because they went to different schools and stuff. And then when he was an adult, he moved away and didn't want to have anything to do with the farm. And he actually felt pretty bitter about it. And so it's uncovering those feelings, and he comes back because he knows it's being sold, and he ends up rekindling a friendship relationship with Olive. And it goes from there. And it was super cute. I loved all the Christmassy feels. I love the grumpy sunshine aspect of Olive and Liam. I liked the depth of the characters. You really got to know why they acted and felt the way that they did. I enjoyed the relationship of Olive and Liam together and the development of that. I love the whole friends to lovers aspect of this. It was so cute, so sweet, so fun and funny. And I really related to both the characters, actually, Liam and Olive. And not only was it about their relationship, but it was kind of overcoming past hurts in their own lives and processing those and becoming better individually too. So I really thought it was so cute. Courtney Walsh had another hit on her hands with this one for me, and that is Christmas with a Crank, which I gave 5 stars. So loved it. All right, after that, I read a short story, A Child's Christmas, right? A Child's Christmas in Wales. Sorry, the tag is right there, so you can't really see. This is by Dylan Thomas, and it is an illustrated one. This is pretty much just a short story about his time as a child. Exactly what it says in the title. And it had some charming reminiscences about when he was a child. And yeah, that's pretty much what it is in regards to the story. Talked about his time. I think it takes place, it was like the 30s, around the 30s, maybe 40s, 50s. I don't know, somewhere in the 1930s to 50s, I think is when this takes place. And yeah, it was just a slice of life looking back and telling the story to whoever he's telling the story to about how life was for him during Christmas in Wales. So this one I gave 3 stars. It was cute. It was a nice little look into the past. All right, after that, I read a novella, and it was 12 Days of Fairy Christmas by C.J. Brightly. And this was just a mood read for me. And this I gave 4 stars to. It was cute. I really enjoyed it. I liked the hijinks of it, but was it very Christmassy? Actually, no. Even though it was based around the 12 days of Christmas, she would get these gifts. She was kind of cursed to where these gifts happened to her when she meets and helps out this guy who comes from Faerie. And so every day she's getting different gifts that kind of correspond with the 12 days of Christmas. So it was fun. It had some funny elements to it, but it's not really Christmassy besides it correlating to the 12 Days of Christmas song, if you're familiar with that. But otherwise it's like takes place and it's 12 days because technically the 12 days of Christmas is from Christmas and then 12 days after that. So it's about her life. It's not even Christmas anymore, technically. And so she's going about her everyday life type of thing. So like I said, not super Christmassy, but you get the gift aspect and the things that happen. There's, it's magical, obviously, because it's about Faerie, but she's in the real world, and it's about, there's monsters that pop up and a fairy night type of situation, and yeah, it was cute. I did really enjoy it. I think that it's worth reading, but just be aware it's not a super Christmassy feeling book. So that is the 12 Days of Fairy Christmas by C.J. Brightly. Then last one I read was After Christmas, and this was not Christmassy. It is Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. I rated this one 3 stars. It's about a girl named Odessa who is like, she's a princess in this kingdom of Quentis, and there's other neighboring kingdoms, and they have this truce with each other, all these kingdoms, because of this thing called the Shield of Sparrows, and it keeps their lands at peace. Well, she doesn't think she's going to be the Shield of Sparrows. It's their kingdom along with this other kingdom. What was the other kingdom's name? I don't even remember now. What is the other kingdom's name? I know there's a map, so I'm going to look really quick, because the map does say what it is. Tura, there we go, Tura. They're the next in line to do this whole Shield of Sparrows betrothal thing. Well, she's grown up knowing that her sister is the one that is going to be the Shield of Sparrows, so she is supposed to marry the prince from Tura. Well, come to find out through some finagling, the prince decides that Odessa is the one he wants. And because of this other kind of truce, that they are able to finagle it so that Odessa is the one that has to marry the prince. And so that's where it starts. She ends up having to go across the water to this other kingdom. And this kingdom of Tura isn't a lot is not known about them in regards to the other kingdoms. They don't really know much about Tura. They're very secretive, and there's monsters and a bunch of stuff. So it's a marriage of convenience and mystery and everything else. So I rated it, I don't know if I said 3 stars. I rated it 3 stars. There's a lot, content-wise, there's a lot of profanity, and F-bomb type of profanity. The only reason I didn't DNF it is there's something that happens in the beginning in regards to a mystery, and I was like, you know what, I want to see if I'm right. So I kept on reading because I wanted to see if my hunch was right about a mystery in it. And because of that, I read through it despite the language kind of taking me out of the story. And I will say that I was right about what I thought. And so, yeah. So the story was fine. The characters were good for the most part. There were some other mysteries as well that were revealed at the end. That for the most part, well, some still weren't that much of a surprise for me, but I could say one was kind of a surprise. But I liked the whole, like, all the different monsters that they had in it. That was interesting for me. The relationship was fine between the male main character and Odessa. But just be aware there's a lot of profanity. And there are open door scenes in this one. So this is definitely an adult book. Even though as an adult, I don't like reading super spicy and lots of profanity, but we all have our things. So just know it's not a YA book at all. So Shielded Sparrows, 3 stars. It was fine. The storyline was fine. Okay, and that's it as far as the books I read. So let's look at the wax real quick because I'm almost at 40 minutes. I'm trying to be concise. I'm just not concise, you guys. I'm sorry. So I'll try and be as concise as I can for this one. The first book for Holly, I chose To Melt Very Snowy Spruce because this is a holiday book, and Very Snowy Spruce is a Christmas tree scent, and it's amazing. And my info is always listed down below for any of these that are available. Most of these are available, I think. After that, for A Holiday by Gaslight, I melted cinnamon pine cones. Perfect choice, I felt, because this one to me always reminds me of like a Victorian Christmas smell, like something that you would smell during the Victorian times, which this is around that time. So that one was a perfect choice, I felt like. Then after that, for Holiday Romance, which I don't have on me again, I melted Autumn Road Trip. And this mainly, even though it's an autumn, it's an apple pear, delicious, like fresh apple pear with oak type of scent. Because I had Road Trip in the title, I was like, you know what? I'm going to melt that because this is one of my all-time favorite scents. I love it so much. So Autumn Road Trip. Then after that, for Letters from Father Christmas, I did the delicious Toasted Caramel Sugar. You can't get this one anymore. It was a holiday brick, which is like the size of my head. But I have the bar size of it, and this is delicious. It just felt like something that Santa Claus would love. So I picked that one. Then after that, for Chasing Cheer. So with Chasing Cheer, I decided to go with a sweet scent too, and that was Frosted Marshmallow. And this one is so yummy. And it is available. It's delicious. Toasted marshmallow with a cinnamon sugar dusting, and it's so good. So good. Love that one. Then after that, for Christmas with a Crank, I chose, what did I choose for that one? Caramel Apple Craze. And this one, even though caramel apple is kind of more fall, I felt like treats-wise, because this was on a Christmas tree farm and they did have treats and that sort of thing. I was like, you know what? I'm feeling this one for this book. So I melted this, and it's delicious. It smells like a caramel apple. It's so yummy. Then after that, for A Child's Christmas in Wales, this one. So for this one, what did I do? Oh yeah, Old Fashioned Evening, because like I said, this takes place like between the 1930s and 50s. And I was like, Old Fashioned Evening? Yeah, it's so good. This one's really good too. It's a cherry, like a warm, cozy cherry scent, and it's yummy. Okay, after that, I did, where is that one? No, I did that one. What am I missing? Sorry, guys. I had this like all together, and then of course, okay, yes. Okay, I did them. I'm pretty sure I've talked about them. Next one, for 12 Days of Fairy Christmas, I decided to go with Winterberry Apple Tea, one of my favorite winter scents. It's good. Oh, it's so good. It just feels like a magical scent to me. That's why I was like, with Fairy Christmas, I think this one will work. So this is an apple berry honey tea scent. Strong, amazing, so good. So highly recommend that one for sure. And then lastly, for Shield of Sparrows, I decided to go with a more like outdoorsy type of scent. And the story actually does take place like summer into fall. And so I was like, let's do this one. This is a little sophisticated pumpkin scent, white pumpkin and driftwood. And yeah, oh my gosh, so good. So this one was for Shield of Sparrows. So that's it, you guys. That is everything that I read during December and the wax that I decided to pair with the books. So yes, this was long-winded, even though I tried to make it shorter, but that's just how I am. I keep trying, but it keeps on being a little longer than I mean it to be. But there you go. I hope your reads in December were great ones. I did overall have a really good reading month. Being able to read 12 books is definitely a good reading month. And let me know down below if there's what you read. What was your favorite book of December? Let me know that. And all those good things. I appreciate all of you. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And until next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.